we will start doing some work in R. In a previous video, we learned how to perform some mathematical operations in the console. But you see, working in the console is not very convenient. Let me show it why. Let me show you why. Let's assume that I want to perform 3 arithmetic operations: an addition, a subtraction, and a multiplication. So I start with my addition, 8 plus 3. Now, the console is restrictive in the sense that it is impossible for me to enter my next operation if I have not executed the first operation, or the current operation, I should say. So I have to press enter in order to execute this line of code before moving to my subtraction, which is, for example, 75 minus 9. And again, my last operation, which is the multiplication, cannot be performed unless I execute the second operation. So let me now go for the multiplication. 8 times 4. And then I execute it. So you see, this is a very restrictive way to do some work because I am not allowed to write all my code before executing. And this is very, very problematic, especially if you have a lot of ideas. Let's assume that you're working on a project, you have a lot of ideas, and you want to translate all your ideas into code before execution. You see, you will not be able to do it in the console. This is why it is always a good idea to create a new R script. So in order to create an R script, you go to File, New File, and then R script. Once you click on R script, a new pane will show up, and this is where your R script, or this is what your R script is. Now the R script is not restrictive at all because you can write whatever you want. So let us perform the same tasks that we performed earlier, that is, the 3 mathematical operations, one after the other. But you see, in the script, I can type my code, so 8 plus 3, and I would always suggest for you to space out your code. So you see, after 8 you have a space, and after the plus symbol you have another space. Then I can go to the next line. I can break a line this time around and write the command for my subtraction, so 75 minus 9. Okay, and then I can break a line again and write the instruction for my multiplication, which is 8 times 4. So you see, I was able to write all my code without any execution going on. And this is why R scripts are so convenient, because you can write whatever you want and then execute the parts of your script that you are willing to execute. So now that we've written our code, let us now execute what we wrote in the R script. Before I go further, let me show you a quick tip. If your console is a little cluttered and you want to clear it out, you can just press Ctrl L in Windows, but Command L for Mac. Okay, so this clears out my console. All right, so let me go ahead and execute the first line of code, which is the addition. So what I want is for the cursor to be on the line of code. It does not need to be at the end. It could be anywhere. Okay, and you press Ctrl Enter. Okay, Ctrl Enter, or Command Enter for Mac, Ctrl Enter for Windows. When you do, then you see that that command shows up in the console as well as the result 11. And R automatically puts the cursor on the next line. So if I press Ctrl Enter again, you will see that it shows up on the console. And then if I press Ctrl Enter again, you see that the multiplication shows up in the console as well. So this is a very convenient way of working in R. Use an R script, write all your code, and execute the code that you want. Now I am going to tell you about, so what we just did was line by line execution. So let me clear out my console and let me perform what is known as a batch execution. So if you want to execute several lines of code together, just select all the lines of code you want to execute and press Ctrl Enter. So you can see that all the 3 lines of code are executed simultaneously. Okay, let me clear out the console again. If I decide to select the first 2 lines of code after pressing Ctrl Enter, I can see that the first 2 lines of code only are executed in the console. So this is what an R script is, and this is how to execute code which is written in an R script.